I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I never really got the hate for Dan Slott. Then again, I haven't read anything made by this diabetic golem or and like I know he was a douchebag through weaponized nerd rage. Like he loved ranting about how what a douchebag this guy is. But after seeing an image of him, I can certainly see why people don't like him. And there was actually an article a few days ago about what he had done, but I forgot to do a video on it. So this is a follow-up article from Binding Comics, and Marvel writer Dan Slott doubles down on bullying fans over Twitter activity, demands fan delete tweets discussing previous incident. Following Marvel writer Dan Slott's recent policing of fans' Twitter activity, where he blocked and scolded said fans simply for following various Comicsgate affiliated accounts, the current Fantastic Four helmsman has doubled down on his bullying, going on to take issue with the fans' discussion of demanding he delete his tweets related to the incident. And how entitled can this fat fuck be? Shortly after Slott's passive-aggressive attempts I hate people like that, attempt to enforce an ideological purity test was brought to widespread attention on by Buying the Comics, said fan YouTuber Joshua Court, who was invited to discuss his unfortunate interaction with the Marvel author in an August 24th live stream hosted by YouTube channel I Love Comics. Appeared on the show Quirky. Oh, yeah, I know that YouTuber. He's an awesome guy. He's also known as Englantain. Really good YouTuber. Really interesting. Really good to interact with sometimes. If you're like in the chat on his live streams. Really nice guy. You should give him a check out if you haven't. It's called... I'll probably leave a link to his channel in the description. Appearing on the show, Quark explained to host Englantain, I don't even see myself as someone who's a part of the culture where I got accused of something and then I was like, wait, hold up. I've got to defend myself. Given that he and his interaction with Slott were the focus of the story, Quark eventually went on to share links to both Buying the Comics' reporting of the story and his own appearance on I Love Comics to his Twitter followers, a pair of decisions that would once again lead to him being targeted by Slott, being the target of Slott's ire. As seen in direct message exchange between Quark and Slott, provided the Buying the Comics by Quark himself. Once Slott took notice of Quark's sharing of the two aforementioned pieces of media coverage, the Marvel author charged into the YouTuber's direct messages and bellowed, "Oh, for fuck's sake! Why is that the first and third post of your feed? Why?" Englantain asked me to talk about the article. I stuck up for you and said you were actually a good guy. I really did. You can watch it. Defended Quirk. And the third post of me saying, oh boy, because it's the shitty website. Dan, I'm not an asshole, man. The YouTubers reasoned in conclusion. However, Quark's explanations were yet again unsatisfactory for Slott, who proceeded to assert Englantain is a Comicsgate guy, and confirmed that the whole reason I originally said that I was blocking you was because you were following the Comicsgate sick people, and you were like, I don't know that. He said he falsely continued, as Quark never denied knowledge that some of the people he was following were Comicsgate affiliated, and you are giving them a boost on your site and giving their word out there. Though Quark affirmed that he even came on here to tell you about it in an attempt to assuage Slott's anger, the writer chose to instead lecture Quark on his own personal belief that Comicsgate is a hate group. Of course, slander and without proof. This isn't a both sides thing, he said, repeating his argument from his initial argument with Quark. This is a group that came into existence by harassing Alphabet members, people, POCs, and women working in comics. I can link you to dozens of mainstream press articles that break this all down. Oh, yes, because the mainstream is so reliable. Fuck you, Dan Slott. Just fuck you. No matter the BS comic gators like to spin, they're a hate group, Slott. further exclaimed, they have a member on their live stream who's associated with the Proud Boys, a reference to Lady Alchemy, Mutus Liver creator Martina Marcota's various appearances on the podcast beside the Proud Boys founder Gavin McGinnis. This isn't rocket science, man. And Slott continued, you don't balance that out by also following Chip Zdarsky and John Suinterez. This isn't some kind of algebra equation where somehow makes it okay to reach out and have conversations with members of full of hate group on members of a full-on hate group. He asserted in a rant, I don't know how to explain it any simpler than that. And yeah, this guy comes off as a condescending fat asshole. Like, if you're not with me, you're against me, basically. In conclusion to his rant, Slott demanded essentially obedience from Quirk, stating, let me rephrase it as an earlier DM. Why are those still the first and third posts on your feed in a repeated attempt to have Quirk delete his tweets? What a piece of shit. After linking to a number of heavily biased and poorly researched articles on the subject of Comicsgate from Miami Herald, the Washington Post, and Inverse, oh yes, because they have no bias slant whatsoever, Slott finally gave Quirk a chance to interject, at which point the YouTuber told the Marvelier, I'm not into that side of comics. I'm actually quite ignorant of Comicsgate. Besides they are a cult, wrote Quirk. I'm friends with John, by the way, but had him on my channel. He will say I'm not into that crap, knowing that he never had the chance to delete the tweet because he had been actively speaking with Slott. Quirk asked, what do I have to do to make you believe me, Dan? I'm a fan, I really am. Please don't make me have a bad experience with you. As Quirk followed up with his plea with a confirmation that said tweets were gone now. Slott mustered a thank you in response. Oh, you shouldn't have done that, dude. You should not have done that. A message sent of banning the comics, Quirk explained that he chose to reach out and share his private correspondence with Slott because I'm actually really upset about it and he shouldn't get away with this. When informed the staff would set out to write a full-on article on Slott's behavior, Quirk told Banning the Comics, thanks. I used to think you guys were crazy, but I think I was wrong about that. Once again, choosing to take the passive-aggressive route, Slott followed up an exchange with Quirk by tweeting to his followers, a hard-to-learn lesson of social media. Talking about awful people and bad faith arguments gives them oxygen. If you try to shine a light on a bad actor, you're actually giving them a signal boost and extending their reach. Then why are you talking about them, you stupid asshole? Criticizing himself for deigning to speak of Comicsgate, Slott concluded, and here's even more frustrating part. If you talk about not talking about something on the internet, you're still talking about it. Like, the mental gymnastics of this dumbass is almost impressive. Like, yeah, no, this is stupid. This is stupid. Dan Slott, fuck you. Quite simply, fuck you. Part of this isn't too surprising. I mean, I had heard in the past that Dan Slott could be a piece of shit, but yeah, this is Mark Waid level of BS. And yeah, no. Like, as bad as stuff that DC is probably right now, what Marvel is probably 1,000 times worse, because they're where most of these assholes originated from. Like, some of them were at DC before, but a lot of them congregated at Marvel, and I think it's worse over there now. Then again, I don't read much of Marvel, so I haven't really known. Like, there's only a couple things from Marvel I actually want to read, and now it's just all old comics. Like, the newer ones I wouldn't touch if you paid me to. But yeah, that's the article. As always, there will be a link to it in the description, and I think that's it for the most part. This Quirk guy, I really don't know what to make of him. I would not have said some of the things he said. Like, I wouldn't have interacted with this guy to begin with, because this is something I learned from, like, a video I'd learned about Jerry Conway. When I found out what a piece of shit he was, I was like, okay, yeah, never follow people you get entertainment from, because they usually turn out to be pieces of shit. And there's this guy, Jerry Conway, and Mark Waid, all three who are sociopathic scumbags. And if you don't believe me, look up some of the past instances of them starting fights with fans just because they deign to follow someone these assholes don't like. I mean, same with Rick Remender. That guy blocked me just because I called him out for his bullshit. Which I wear like a badge of honor, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of proud of that. Alright, I don't know why. I feel very happy about that. And all I said was, look, by telling people who vote differently than you, all you're doing not to buy your stuff, all you're doing is making more people not want to buy your stuff. And then he blocked me, basically. And I'd never seen anything about Rick Remender. All I know now is he's a piece of shit, and I'm glad I'm blocked by him. And I hope to never buy anything made by him, ever. But yeah, Dan Slott, thank you for at least providing some proof you're every bit the piece of shit I heard you were. And yeah, that's the video. Make of it what you will. I do find it funny that this guy's linking to articles by mainstream people. And mainstream people, they have a bias. They have a political slant and a narrative to pull or to push. And it almost doesn't surprise me that this dumbass actually thinks they're a credible source. They're not. Most are. How some people would say buying the comics is an incredible source. At least they're a fan to something, and they have a reason to give a shit about something. And I at least trust them to be intellectually honest. The people that Slott's referencing, they couldn't be intellectually honest if you paid them to. They are liars by nature. At least that's how I view them. Some of the articles I've read by them are very insufferable. Let's just leave it at that. And again, like I've said this in the past, but journalists are an embarrassment to writers the world over. Like, they make us other writers look like douchebags. Anyway, again, that's the video. Have a nice day, and remember the game was rigged from the start.